Howdy everybody, and thank you once again for joining me on the Roaming Prepper channel. I'm your host Pete, for those of you who have not been here before. And I'd like to thank you for joining me tonight, or this morning, depending on what part of the world you're in. Today's conversation, usually I'll try and do a mix of topics from news and current events and try and assess how we should try to respond if that were to happen to us. For example, if there was a flood, if there was a wildfire, if there was a hurricane, and how people should be thinking about how to prepare for these things in different circumstances. Tonight, or today, I want to review some of the things that have gone on that just seem to be a bit much. And I think everything actually started, well, the weirdness started back in 2020, maybe before then. But the more recent weirdness started in March of 24 when a freighter made a 90-degree turn because it lost power, allegedly, and went crashing into the Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, essentially knocking the bridge into the water. It took the whole span out. There were multiple derailments. There were several hurricanes throughout the year, which is normal. Hurricanes happen during the year. Some very nasty derailments happened. And then as we got toward the end of the year, there was a slew of unidentified aircraft and drones and other things people didn't understand all up and down the East Coast. And there's been speculation they were Chinese, they were Russian, they're from space, they're American tech that we're screwing our own people with. And then we get into 2025, and we haven't been even a month into the year. And we had dual terror attacks on New Year's Day. One was more a message being sent by a veteran in Vegas. The other one was an outright jihadist terror attack. There were several of those similar attacks with vehicles running people over in Germany and in England. And then to add to the fun, essentially Las Vegas burned down. Even though the wind was blowing, the Santa Ana winds were blowing from the northeast to the southwest, the fire moved from the west to the east, which seems contradictory. To me, it's suspicious. I'm not super familiar with the airflow of wind in that area, but I do know a lot of very expensive multi-million, and when I say multi-million, not 2 or 3 million, I'm talking $80-90 million homes were devastated. Much of the Hollywood popular folks, many of them lost their homes out in that part. The Palisades burned, parts of Malibu burned, the beach burned, those houses on the beach, like from 2.5 Men, they're all gone. And Eaton burned, large sections of Hollywood Hills have burned, and the fires as of today were still going on, and they were expecting more wind. I'm thinking the fire eventually will run out of fuel. And we had a lot of people speculating. A few illegal aliens were caught setting fires. A few homeless people were caught setting fires and arrested. About 15 in total. So now the speculation, was this purely natural? Was it man-made? Was it an act of terror, an act of sabotage, eco-terrorism? We don't know. The bottom line is the year has started out absolutely off the rocker. And as we go toward, President Trump, as of the day I'm recording this, he has not been inaugurated yet. By the time you see this, it will likely be inauguration week. Things have been interesting. I know that 3 of the former presidents, which would be Obama, Bush, and Clinton, will not be attending the inauguration. I believe Biden has to, as part of the institution, like they inaugurate and swear in, and then Biden has to walk him symbolically into the Oval Office and turn over things or whatever. There's a lot going on, and it's all over the map. And folks are concerned. First and foremost, I would tell everyone, continue doing what you're doing if as best as you can. Stay on budget, save money where you can, protect your inner peace and your mental health as much as possible. Don't give yourself a heart attack or an aneurysm trying to be prepared. If you're new to this, don't try to be where some of these folks have been doing it for 15, 20 years. They own a homestead and other things. try to be where they are, because that's just going to make you insane. There's no need for that. Instead, what I would encourage you to do is prep small and grow from there. Get 3 days of food, a good first aid kit, a few flashlights, a few maybe walkie-talkies from the sporting goods store, like the FRS radios. Learn how to use the stuff, maybe a camping stove. You can spread this out over time. Instead of emergency meals, which are expensive, you could go directly to canned foods, having a little stash of those. Check the dollar store, Dollar General, Big Lots, whatever other places you can to get a deal, and get the basics down. Now, hurricane season starts again in June, which it comes every year, just like Christmas. It's important for all of us to be consistent in our preparedness as much as we can, understanding that life gets in the way. Now, what bothers me is, as of this evening, I'm recording, a lithium battery plant is on fire just south of San Francisco. So now we've had Los Angeles catch fire. San Francisco now has a lithium battery plant fire. There have been other weird fires in military or infrastructure type industries, quite a bit, both here and in Europe. Me personally, I'm wondering if we don't already, I'm pretty confident we do have agents or sleeper cells or some other deniable asset in our country who may be contributing to a lot of this. A great way to weaken a nation is to make it use up all its resources or distract its responding personnel with so many issues at once. It makes it impossible to really focus on anything. That being said, it's important that all of us be as ready as we can. And this means on the day-to-day. When you go to and from work, I've talked about this extensively. Make sure you have a good get-home bag. If you have an office in another location and you have lockable office door or lockable desk or locker in general, have some extra gear. Change of shoes, change of pants. So if you go to work in a suit or in a dress and a blouse and something happens, you're not walking 10 miles in high heels or 5 miles in formal shoes when you can have a pair of sneakers or hiking boots that do a much better job on your feet than that. Teach your family how to respond to certain emergencies. It's important for them to understand, hey, if something happens, I want you guys to do the following. Go to the house or go to grandma's or whatever the case may be. Having a plan set in place beforehand is going to be key. I don't know what the rest of this year is going to bring. I'm super interested in the fact that they're moving the inauguration indoors, and we'll see how that pans out. By the time you see this video, the inauguration should be done. And this video might be outdated by the time we get there. Who knows? But in any case, folks, regardless of what happens in the coming months, it's important that you stay in your basics, you stay within your budget and your skills. Try to learn something new as much as you can. And most importantly, keep your inner peace, keep your thought process going so that you don't wind up getting caught in the middle of something and you don't have a change of shoes, you don't have a snack, you don't have a go bag, you don't have that extra cash. You don't want to be one of the people that everyone else sees on YouTube saying, look at these folks panicking and burning or dying because of something that happened. So folks, don't be the statistic. Plan your trips, even if it's just to work and back. Do you have contingencies? Do you know ways to get to and from? And other than that, ladies and gentlemen, be safe, be careful out there. And I will see you guys on the next video. God bless.